Sunny ways, my friends. Sunny ways.
Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the wheat group. You've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared. But I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things. Sorry?
The servicing costs on the debt that you're going to have to carry, that you're adding to now, right?
Interest rates are at historic lows, Glenn.
Where's the funds?
On the topic, I mean, in terms of your sort of strategy currently, you're obviously taking the populist pathway.
What does that mean? Oh, Justin, you're awake. You made it. Have a seat. Have a coffee. You need some. Wakey time.
Let's cut that Disney Plus subscription. So we cut it. It's only $13.99 a month that we're saving, but every little bit helps.
A lot of people would say that you're simply taking a page out of the Donald Trump book.
Which people would say that?
Well, I'm sure a great many Canadians, but...
Like who?
I don't know who, but...
Well, you're the one who asked the question, so
yeah.
You must know somebody. Yeah, that's all that's coming off. There's nothing else coming off, yeah. I'm not Justin Trudeau here. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go.
Knockout! What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. Welcome to Friday Night Fringe here on the stream, whereas Trudeau's a commie says we are the sexist couple on YouTube.
So offended.
I had to point it out. Trudeau's a commie. I know it was a spelling mistake. It's okay. I know what was meant to be said, and that's okay. Welcome into the stream, everybody. Coming up tonight on the show, we got a lot going on, but joining me as always, the very beautiful and vivacious Mrs. Fringe. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to have you here again, as always, every Friday. You definitely help keep this show grounded. We have a lot to get into tonight. Justin Trudeau's worst week in office. We're going to touch base on that. We're going to talk a little bit about what happened this week. I don't know if you guys missed it, but there was an election this week. Something changed in the political realm.
Just a little bit, I think, yeah.
I heard about something that happened this week that really sent people over the edge. I don't know, in terms of elections. We're going to get into it. Let's start tonight off with a little bit of a roll call. We have some guests tonight on the show eagerly joining us at some point. Dragon's Lair Machine will be joining us on the stream. So I know everybody's been asking for ages. Get Dragon's Lair Machine on as a guest. So we're going to get that done. Ladies and gentlemen, let's start a roll call. Let me know where you're watching from. If it's your first time into the stream, make sure to let me know. Otherwise, let me know where you're watching from. Let's see if we can get someone from every province in the country. Let's go. I saw Richard chiming in right away from Bancroft, Ontario. Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you here. We've got David Brewer. Happy Friday. Derek and Tiffany from Springfield, Missouri. Welcome back in. Great to have you. Congratulations on the election this week. Princess Thickness is in the house with the hello. Hello. I don't know if you guys know that Seinfeld joke, but there you go. Welcome in from Montreal. We got Mystical coming in from Calgary, mostly recovered from the sprained ankle. Glad to hear that. It was great to meet you last Saturday. Huge thank you to everyone who came out to meet Mrs. Fringe and I at Shanks.
That was a blast, actually.
Last Saturday, including one of our most loyal viewers, Megan, who came all the way from Windsor, Ontario. What a trooper. Excellent time there. Ryan coming in from Ontario, Canada. Patty, Tampon Boy has been in the fetal position since Trump won. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into it. It's going to be great. We got Gemini coming in from Toronto, Ontario. Sorry, everybody's mentioning Donald Trump. I got to make sure I'm getting everybody again. Princess Thickness in from Montreal. Adam Johnson coming in from Kitchener, Ontario. H from Ontario in the house. Welcome. Good to see you. Jody coming in. KW Ontario in the house. Welcome in. Great to have you here. Jason from Vancouver. We've got Brennan watching from work, I'm assuming that is, but welcome in. Great to have you here from work. Mike St. John coming in from Sudbury, Ontario. We got Harry Ludwig joining us once again from Calgary. We got BC Prairie Girl coming in from Maple Ridge, BC. It'd be a little weird if it was BC Maple Girl coming in from Nova Scotia or something, but good to have you in here. Mike coming in from Ampere, Ontario. Welcome back in. It's great to have you here again. Kat Underwood joining us, Northeast Alberta up by Cold Lake. Welcome in. M. Hobbs coming in from BC. We got Wild Nature Farm from Alberta. We got Julia C. coming in from Ontario. Alberta Patriot joining us once again from Red Deer, Alberta. And Pretty Weird Duck coming in from Calgary, Alberta. Trudeau's Economy from Calgary, of course. Welcome into each and every one of you. Island Girl coming in BC. First time. Nobody forgets their first. Welcome into the stream. It's great to have you here. We got Trudeau's Blackface Son of Castro coming in from the famous Trudeau bunker here in Windsor, Nova Scotia with the LFGs. It's always great to have you in here. Welcome in. Shelby coming in from Langley, BC. Carson Sexsmith joining us once again from Porno Viagra, formerly from Slave Lake, Alberta. Great to have you in here. Clara coming in from Alberta. Welcome in. Greg Davis in from Calgary. Ingrid and Charlie coming in from Okotoks, Alberta. Great to have you guys in here again. Carol becoming a member for 1 month with the Patriots Club. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, Carol. Welcome to the Patriots Club. It says here, Mrs. Fringe is always beautiful. That's why I married her. I don't know if you guys know that, but hey, one of her more good features, I'd say. Nice person, beautiful, kind, puts up with my shit.
I think that's the best feature, isn't
I think that's the best feature because I don't know anybody else who would. Let's go. We got to get Aiden coming in from Toronto. We've got Brenda coming in from Shithole, Ontario. Is that a real town? I don't know. I think they renamed Ottawa that. But hey, welcome in. It's great to have you here. Jesse Black coming in from Spruce Grove. We've got Nelson coming in from St. John, New Brunswick. Janet coming in from Belleville, Ontario. Great to see you guys all in here. Buck coming in from Ottawa, Ontario. We've got Colin P. joining us from Red Deer again. Colin, so happy to see you back. Glad your band's over. It's always good to have you back in the chat. Happy to see you here. Great chatting with you Wednesday too during or Tuesday.
Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Tuesday during the election. We got a lady Genuine coming in from Waterloo region. Roxy from Quandra Island in BC. We've got Chuck Davis coming in Peterborough, Ontario. How's the lovely wife doing and how's the family? How's the house coming along? I'm not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole. We're still here. That should tell you enough. Nelson coming in from New Brunswick. Welcome in. We got OCD from Vavenby, BC, or Vavenby. Look, he even put it in brackets.
He did, yeah.
There you go. Thank you so much. We got Sherry from Southern Alberta. Master of Snatch jumping in. How you doing? It's great to see you in here. Carl from PEI. Let's see. Prairie Strong's in the stream. My family's disowned me because of the Trump mega landslide.
Wow.
I'm sorry to hear that, but that's their loss. Welcome in. Miss Healeth Razor coming in from Guildford, BC. Welcome in. We got Captain Calgary coming in from Calgary. I almost said Captain Calgary from Regina, but hey, Captain Calgary, welcome into the stream. Hannibal Lecter coming in from Northwest Ontario. Great to have you in here. We've got Annette Maple Maga, Ontario, Brockville, Maga all the way. Connor Caldecott coming in from Alberta.
Woo-hoo.
We've got DMAC from Brandon. Wheat Kings go. Absolutely. Welcome in. Let's go, Brandon. Soon to be not anymore, but hey, Brandon, Manitoba is still a beautiful town. Who's the beautiful lady in the white top beside you? Absolutely
The
stunning,
wife.
says Tom. Well, that's my wife. Hands off. She's mine. Welcome in. It's great to have you here. CJB, you and Mrs. Fringe should do a double date show with Northern Perspective. That would be awesome. Anything's possible, I guess, on YouTube. We'll see.
Never know.
Billy Mustang coming in from Virginia, USA. Arnold coming in from Western Alberta. We've got Adam from KW. I'm not sure where KW is. Let's, if somebody can put that in the chat, let me know. Derek from Merritt, BC. It's great to have you in here. Wolf Farside from Thunder Bay. Heather official coming in from Edmonton, Alberta. Luca's joining us once again from Burnaby, BC. Welcome into the stream. Derek's in from Nova Scotia as well. I've got something to chat about that Derek put in the chat earlier. Absolutely alarming, but here we go. Kathy coming in from Buck Lake, Kelowna. We've got Jancor coming in from Ottawa, Ontario. Once again, great to have you in here. Queen Esther, good evening to you both from Ontario. Welcome in. Great to have you in. Gwen joining us from the GTA. We got Wesley Snipes joining us from Lethbridge, good old Methbridge. GM Purist coming in from Medicine Hat. We've got Lady Genuine coming in from Cambridge. I think we pulled that one earlier. I apologize if I'm on something and didn't realize that. Trevor Olson coming in from Calgary. What else do we got here? We got Mayraki coming in from Mississauga, checking in. Don't just check in. Stick around for a while. It's going to be a great show.
It is going to be a good
Looking
show.
forward to seeing you here. We've got Jenny Girl. We got Jenny coming in from Ottawa Valley, Ontario. Great to have you in here, Jenny. Chris Johnson, London, Ontario. Hate to live here. Glad to be in the chat. We're glad to have you here as well. Welcome in. Prairie Strong joining us from Medicine Hat. Great to see you here. Iden with a great message. Respect the troops. Wear a poppy. There's been some disrespect to the troops. We're going to get into that. Landlocked Newfie coming in from Edmonton. Welcome in. We've got Paul, Red Deer County. Welcome into the stream. I've got Calgary coming in from Southwest Saskatchewan. Welcome into the stream. Great to have you here. We got Ingrid and Charlie, I believe.
Yeah.
The chat's just flowing, guys. The chat's flowing. Warkey 31 with a $2 super chat. Hey, from the Hammer. Welcome in. Great to have you in the stream. Between the multi-streams, guys, we have almost 500 viewers in here already. If you're in YouTube, don't forget to get a thumbs up in the chat. It takes 2 seconds, costs you nothing, and it helps push us out there. If you're enjoying the content, get a thumbs up in there. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight. Lots.
Yeah.
First, I want to talk about what Derek mentioned earlier. Apparently, in Nova Scotia, there was a school or a school board that has said that veterans or anybody military
they invited the veterans to a school for Remembrance Day, but asked them not to
wear their uniforms. How disrespectful is that to our veterans, ladies and gentlemen? Of course, this weekend coming up on Remembrance Day, one of the most important days of Canadian celebrated holidays, in my opinion.
And Veterans Day in the U.S.
And Veterans Day in the United States. This is a very important day that I find in the last few years has been pushed down, kind of sideswiped.
100%.
You know,
yeah.
while the government's busy with DEI and virtue signaling, they don't like to acknowledge our veterans. I've always said veterans are the backbone of this country. We wouldn't be anywhere without the men and women of our military who serve for us, those who have paid the ultimate price for our freedoms. We owe them an unpayable debt of gratitude. Anybody who disrespects our military should be driven out of the country, as far as I'm concerned.
I mean, they quickly changed their minds, but it's disrespectful to even think about doing something like that in the first place.
The problem with changing their minds is the only reason they changed it is because of pushback.
Exactly.
They were comfortable with the decision when they made it. They just don't want bad optics.
I would want my kids to see the vets in their uniforms. That it's a major thing for them. Like,
what's somebody saying we're full of shit? What are we full of shit about? I'd sure like to know.
Maybe just naturally.
Is this a troll? I don't know. Snatch is in the chat. Snatch can catch any of the trolls. Let's get in with with Remembrance Day. So this week, of course, after our busy weekend with our group meetup, Megan joining us from Windsor, Ontario. Megan came all the way from Windsor, Ontario, just to meet myself, Mrs. Fringe, get some books signed, meet some of our members from the chat that were hanging out at this event. I can't tell you how humbled I was to not only meet an amazing viewer, but
everyone really, it's nice to get to have conversations with some like-minded people.
It was an absolutely amazing event. And I'll tell you, whether you came from 2 blocks away or like Megan, all the way from Ontario, halfway across the country, what a feeling it was to leave Shank South, knowing so many viewers were there to
and we'll be doing another one.
We'll be doing another one
when we move.
When we move, it'll be done. Jim Brown with $2 super chat. KW is Kitchener Waterloo. There we go. I missed it. Thank you so much. Absolutely wonderful. But what we did actually, and one of the things we did, one of our other viewers, Daphne Devine, showed up late. She was stuck with work. Really wanted to see us. So Monday night, Megan had reached out and said, if you're still available Monday, I'd love to meet up with you guys for dinner. I'd love to do something. And we said, you know what? You came all the way from Windsor. Let us take you out for dinner. You're in Alberta. You can't leave Alberta without trying Alberta beef. So we took Megan and Daphne Devine out to the keg, had a great time, got to see them. But on the way to the keg, we drove our kids past the
Memorial Drive.
Remembrance Day with all so every year, if you're not from Calgary, on Memorial Drive, right next to downtown, they put out a ton of crosses to resemble and pay respects to those who have given the ultimate price for our freedoms for Remembrance Day. And while my daughter was in the choir this year, our daughter,
yes,
singing Flanders Fields. Sorry, I'm used to doing this solo. It's while our daughter was in the choir, we wanted to take our kids by and show them this because this is important for our heritage. It's important to remind them that you should always respect the veterans. You should always thank them for their service. Whether they fought in a war or whether they were just at base the entire time they served, it takes a lot, I think, to sign your name on that line and decide to
give your life for people you don't even know, just for a country.
Just for your country that you believe in. Absolutely humbled. I was so glad to show my kids that and get them involved on Remembrance Day.
And they thought it was, they're learning about it, so it's something to see too.
Yep. Animal Kingdom, $2 super chat. Hello from the armpit of Ontario in Oshawa. Well, I don't know if it's that bad, but thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Welcome in. I just saw Megan in the chat. Alberta beef. Oh my God, delicious. Best meal ever, says Megan. Megan, welcome into the stream.
Nothing beats it.
Great to have you here. I will be covering what happened in Nova Scotia. I'm going to dig in deep to that and get some info. There will be a video on it. So
thank you, Derek, for the information.
Yep. Thank you for passing that on. Bad Anger Management, you never thanked me. Did Bad Anger Management drop a super chat in there? Nope. I'm missing. That's my brother, by the way. So if I'm being rude, don't think I'm being. We can pick on him. It's okay. We can pick on him a little bit. Absolutely fabulous event. That being said, we have to get on to what's important tonight, talking about Trudeau's worst week. It started with an election that happened this week. No, it wasn't Canada's election. Of course, anybody who was here who joined us Tuesday night for a 7-hour-long stream.
I only stuck around for an hour. That is way too long for me on a work night, but...
Lucas saying, get this man an Autobots shirt. Listen, Devastator is my favorite Transformer. I had to get a Decepticons. I'm sorry. Devastator and Soundwave for the win. Okay.
I do have.
You have an Optimus Prime hoodie.
I do have an Optimus
Prime hoodie. We'll give that much to Tiffany.
I'm on the good side.
That being said, so Donovan, this is exactly what I was about to get onto. Here's the thing. I want to talk a little bit about this, and no, we're not talking about drama tonight.
No.
There was an election going on, and while the election was happening, something happened that does affect Canada, and it is something I want to talk about. I think it's worthy of talking about. If you tuned into the Plebs stream before we started, at least, or stuck around for the Plebs stream, I don't want to say don't watch the Pleb.
No.
Little controversy happened there. If you're unaware of what happened, for a long time, there's been a beef going on between the Pleb, Jasper Sunshine. You and I have talked about it before. Of course, I don't jump in when it comes to other people's drama. I don't like to jump in when it comes to other people's drama. One of the things I've always said on this channel is that we're all on the same team. We're all in the same boat. The whole purpose of YouTube, at least from my perspective,
we're all fighting and standing up for the same cause. We should be a community.
We all want Justin Trudeau to go. We all want unification in our country. We want to be stronger. The infighting needs to stop. I'm not going to show the whole thing. But I want to show for context what went down on Tuesday night during the Plebs stream. This is why I wanted to talk about it. I went over to Jasper's Mr. Sunshine Baby's page because I thought what he did on the Plebs stream was a no-no.
But
he went into the Plebs stream looking for a fight. Now, apparently, from my knowledge, from what I saw, the chat was pulled. So I couldn't get full context, but apparently Mr. Sunshine Baby was in the chat. And the Pleb said, come on the channel. Now, while they've had beef in the past, I think the Pleb had assumed their beef was going to be put aside, that they were going to do this stream together. which I think was a misstep on the plebs' part. I think he should have just made sure at another time that they were good to go before bringing him on stream. But Jasper came in here looking for a fight. He already had the plebs deleted video talking about him queued up. He was ready for a fight. I want to play this little segment of what went down. I'm going to minimize that because now it looks like we're where the pleb is. I'm going to play this little segment. I'm not going to play the whole thing, but a lot of crap went down during this stream. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen, guys. Is it muted? I'm sorry, guys. Hold on one second. Let me
do it right, Derek.
What is it? What is it they say? F it, we'll do it live. I might have missed hitting the button for the audio. Hold on, guys.
We'll try it again.
Let me go back. I want context.
Censorship.
Censorship at its finest. Here we go. Let's take another listen. Okay.
Comments.
Okay, well now the video doesn't want to play. Hang on a sec.
Push the play button.
Hang on. Let me reload this. Let me reload it. Now it doesn't want to play.
Where's the comment? You had one job.
You had one job. One job. F it. We'll do it live.
Me is allowing my guests to see me, so I guess it'll be like a radio. Everyone sees you though. They see you on the screen.
Yeah, that's fine.
How you doing,
yeah,
brother?
I've got your stream pulled up. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Can we what I said that earlier is out of love, Mr. Sunshine. I'm not here.
This is your chance to apologize.
My chance to apologize?
You know for what?
For what? Say it right on the air in front of 5,000 people.
I've tried messaging you. I've tried texting you about this, but you don't seem to have an interest in
I'm not going to apologize. I'm not going to apologize. You stole from me.
No.
You stole my merch.
You pretend to be a nice guy, but you go around and you made dedicated videos trying to talk smack about me, and then you delete them immediately.
Yeah, because I thought it was in bad taste. And I deleted it like after 20 minutes because I'm like,
friends. Yeah. You've threatened me with fake lawsuits to try and intimidate me.
Which I ran by a lawyer who said that I had an actual legal case for you literally plagiarizing me.
No, I
Mr.
wasn't.
Sunshine, I put out a video. I put out a shirt that said, keep calm and never vote liberal. And the next day you have a keep calm and don't vote liberal shirt inside your merch store. Literally the same words. And then you get mad at me that I get offended. You literally get, and then you want me to apologize to you when you blatantly copied me. All I wanted was an apology or at least an acknowledgement. Pleb, I'm sorry. I did copy you, or, oh, I didn't know. No, I didn't do that.
Okay, so I just seen it in the chat. Why are we watching two guys complaining? I'll tell you why. Because first off, I didn't agree. Sorry, Mrs. Fringe had to step away for a second. I don't agree with the fact that Jasper went in there looking for a fight. I think Jasper owes the pleb a massive apology. If you ask me, in my opinion, nobody won in this situation. This fight went on for 10 minutes during a political coverage of during a coverage of a U.S. election. And then Jasper goes into his Twitter, posts his stream tonight, and clips what happened. Then below, his deleted video bashing me. This is the problem I have with the whole thing. We're all supposed to be on the same team. This here is what Justin Trudeau wants. He wants us all fighting each other. He wants us all divisive. He wants us all hating each other. We're supposed to love our country, and these guys are fighting over a t-shirt. A t-shirt. I have never seen such immaturity in my life, and I'll tell you right now that, how do I word this without, What happened here was a travesty. I don't think anybody was right. I don't think anybody won. I don't think anybody came on top. Again, the pleb apologized profusely after. He felt bad. He's cut this out. Jasper went and posted it on his Twitter. I had tremendous respect for Jasper at one point because the man showed me how to run my YouTube channel, just like the pleb. You know, he wanted us to succeed. He wanted everybody to succeed. The problem here is that this posting these videos on your Twitter account, trying to gain people's sympathy, trying to push that, hey, everyone, I'm right. What are you, 5 years old? I understand that I've brought my beef with Clyde into streams and things like that, but they're little shots. I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't act like this. This is childish beyond any realm of decency. To go into your Twitter and start posting videos about this, I lost all respect for Jasper. I think the pleb made a big mistake bringing him on, but I don't necessarily fault the pleb because of Jasper's actions, because of him going to Twitter and posting it further. We have better things to worry about in this country than who took the idea for a t-shirt.
Well, we're all together. We should just, instead of separating and fighting, we're adults.
Jasper's got a very sizable audience. The pleb has a very sizable audience. We're supposed to be bringing Canadians together. And on one of the biggest nights where the United States is being reshaped, where we started a trend that things are finally going to start getting better for us. Better for America, better for Canada. These two want to fight about t-shirts on the air in front of 5,000 people. I think both of them, I shouldn't say both of them. The pleb did apologize to his viewers. He's since then clipped part of that fight out of his live stream. So I know, again, he doesn't want that infighting. He doesn't want to look like that on the internet. And he's apologized. Jasper owes his viewers, the pleb's viewers, and anybody who watches his content a massive apology. Because he's parading this around on social media saying, look at me, I'm the victim. I don't want to focus on Trudeau anymore. I want to focus on the pleb. I just was so blown away because I walked into the pleb stream 5 minutes after this happened just to check in with them before starting my stream Tuesday night. And it's like, what are we doing here as a country? What's going on? We're supposed to work together. You guys, whatever you're dealing with, whatever your beef is, deal with that outside of YouTube. Don't bring it in here. That's embarrassing. I don't even like talking about this, but I got to get it out there because I think Jasper should be exposed for parading it all over social media. I think it's disgusting. I think it's so immature. What are you, 5? Is this kindergarten? Grow up. Ridiculous. You know what really grinds my gears? Move on next. It's YouTube drop is easy content. It is. But I wanted to bring that up because we were talking a little bit about...
I hate drama.
I hate drama too, but we were talking about the U.S. election. Now, of course, Donald Trump pulling up his garbage truck during the U.S. election. Let's take a look at what happened election night as Donald Trump pulled up at the end of the night. Let's take a look here, folks.
Worst vice president, you're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody bad like you. Kamala, you're fired. Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. Worst vice president, you're the worst border czar. There's never been anybody.
Now, Donald Trump bringing in his dump truck to get rid of the garbage, to take out the trash with Kamala, absolutely crushing the United States election, being the 47th president of the United States after, and also the 45th.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
While record voters came out,
Yeah.
and we saw a red wave across the United States. Now, the typical states like California, Oregon, Washington, New York, they all went blue. But other than that, guys, red wave.
I saw a map today, because when you're looking at the map, you're looking at the states and which state went red and which state went blue. But I saw a map on LinkedIn today. I should have sent it to you. It was about the counties. So within those states, yeah, it looks blue, but inside it's still a lot of red.
So basically what happened in that election is the same thing we see happening in Canada's election. It's part of the reason I wanted to bring this up, is because it's major cities deciding for the rest of the country what they need.
Yes.
All the big cities are the ones that were voting Democrat, while the rest of the country was voting Republican. I mean, Joe pointing out, where is it here? Not only did he win Congress, he has a few seats to spare. Great that no individual can hold up Congress. We talked about that all
What was
night.
it, 302 he has?
No. Those are
Oh.
those are that's not Congress. That's or the Senate.
Yeah.
I should have pulled up the numbers, but we really just wanted to talk about this red sweep. Most importantly, that's okay. That's okay. I should have been more prepared on that. Most importantly, I want to bring up this video clip because this explains why that was lost. I've been watching all week. We've been watching lefties losing it. We've watched people drowning themselves out, both in the United States and Canada, over Trump. Because I've seen pictures of Pierre Poilievre going around with his face painted orange while people are desperate saying this is what's coming to Canada. This person, I thought this was going to be another woke TikTok, but this person really points out
100%.
why things are so different and why Kamala lost. Let's take a listen.
Kamala Harris did not lose this election because she's a woman. She lost this election because there were American families sitting there telling her how they couldn't afford to put food in their fridge, and her solution was to bring out Meg Thee Stallion to twerk on stage alongside just about every single one of P. Diddy's friends to endorse her. She lost this election because there were Americans who lost everything in an absolutely horrific hurricane, and she sat there telling them that $750 should be enough for them if they even qualify, while simultaneously funding illegals staying in five-star hotels in New York City, receiving 3 meals a day provided to them by taxpayer dollars. She lost this election because she sat there talking about how anti-racism she was, while simultaneously blaming straight white men for just about every single problem this country has. Isn't it funny that if you demonize a group of people long enough for merely existing, they might not want to vote for you? American politics has changed forever. You will no longer be able to sit there and bully Americans into voting for you. It won't work. Unfortunately, our politicians on both sides seem to forget that they are actually public servants. They answer to the public, not the other way around. And they need to get behind that. They need to understand that, and they need to change and reform their policies to fit what the public is saying, or they will get left in the dust, as Kamala learned the hard way yesterday.
Now, the reason I want to bring that up, and the reason why I think that that's important to highlight, is because doesn't that sound a little bit like what's going on in Canada? Isn't that exactly what's happening in Canada? That we're bringing in all these foreigners, we're putting them up in hotels.
Well, if you think more foreigners aren't coming here, apparently we're getting all the celebrities that voted for Kamala to Canada.
It's Kamala.
Kamala.
Kamala. You can't look.
The name annoys me.
I already had to go back in and gift like 8.
Comfy.
Get a different chair.
Ugh.
I already had to gift like 8 subscriptions out after the live stream.
You kept screwing up
because I kept saying Kamala instead of Kamala. You know who else gifted out live or memberships to the Patriots Club was Colin P, gifting 5 unacceptable Fringe memberships into the Patriots Club. Thank you so much, Colin. Wow, that is so generous of you. Welcome to all 5 of our new Patriots Club members. Let's yeah, I know everybody still talking about the fact that we chimed in on Jasper and the pleb. Look, we don't want to show those videos either. The reason I'm showing those videos is because what I'm trying to prove is exactly what this lady just said in the video. We're fed up. We need to come together as a country. This kind of stuff shouldn't be happening on the internet. We should be working together.
If we want to have those discussions, they should be
any discussion should be offline, but it shouldn't be done online. We're supposed to bring everyone together. We're supposed to work together. We're on the same team.
So we will do that, and we won't be discussing other people who don't.
Absolutely. Okay. I'm only going to read this super chat because it's a $20 super chat. I'm not going to talk any more drama. Pleb and Jasper immediately went at each other like a couple of children over t-shirt design while the future of Canada was being discussed. This was preempted for about 25 minutes like a pair of liberals. So I agree, but that's why it's important we talk about it. I don't want to showcase what 2 grown men who are behaving like children were doing. It's the fact that we're supposed to learn to work together. I like the pleb. I have no problem with the pleb. I had no problem with Jasper before some of his actions, or Mr. Sunshine Baby, for those who don't know, his name's Jasper. But
a lot.
He has helped me, and I'm not going to discard that.
No.
But the fact of the matter is that makes anybody, like, we've got politicians running around calling us far right YouTube creators or disinformation spreaders, that when you behave like that on the internet, it does nothing more than back up their claims. It does nothing more than make us look terrible. We have to be careful of that stuff.
We need to be building each other up and not putting each other down.
Absolutely. That was the reason we brought it up. I don't want to showcase drama on the channel, but it's important that we highlight that stuff.
Because the wife really hates it.
So we change. Mr. Steal Your Blocks, $5 super chat. Keep calm and hate Trudeau together. There you go.
Yes.
I know that's a dig at what happened. Kamala Harris, again, conceding finally to Trump. If you guys joined me on the live stream, it was absolutely ridiculous how long it went on for before they called.
Did not want to call it at all.
So Fox News called Pennsylvania, and everybody in the chat was going crazy, saying, you know, they called Pennsylvania, and I kept saying, look, until all the major networks call it, I can't in good faith call it. If you remember what happened with Al Gore back in the day with George Bush, you know, they called Florida. We woke up in the morning, things had changed. I wanted concrete.
Yeah, you didn't want to call it and be like, oh, crap.
I didn't want to have to make a retraction.
Yeah.
So we stuck around on the stream. We really stuck it out. A lot of people here till almost 2:00 in the morning with me trying to watch what was going on. And Kamala went home. She took her ball and went home. She left everybody there. And I even said it when they were sending her people home that were there for her rally. They showed everybody in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, waiting for Donald Trump. And the room was full. People were partying. It was much later where everybody else was for Trump. And I said, doesn't a picture speak 1,000 words? Everybody for Kamala is going home, and everybody for Trump sticking around ready to party. I said one of two things was happening. Either the fix was in at that point, or they knew something we didn't. And I think, again, they were being given the numbers. They knew that the path to victory was slim. So she went home. What was interesting to see the next day, with everybody winding down, is Justin Trudeau all of a sudden sticking up for Alberta, saying, we're going to help Alberta's oil and gas sector. We care about Alberta. I put a video out about it. Absolutely crazy.
I'm sorry I didn't see it, and I actually didn't know that.
Justin Trudeau again saying, oh, guys, we're going to stick up for Alberta now that Donald Trump's back in office.
Wow.
Because he's
Head
scared.
between his legs.
He's absolutely scared. The other thing that was pointed out here that I was going to get to, I'll bring up now, Allison Taylor. Wayne Gretzky was there with his family celebrating with Trump.
That's awesome.
Apparently, the Great One has been labeled as a traitor to Canada now, and everybody's trying to cancel Wayne Gretzky for being there. I say good on him. I think it's great.
Good on him, yeah.
I think it's fantastic that he was there. He's allowed to go where he wants to. I mean, he could be with P. Diddy's friends, right?
We got to stop canceling people for
their
political beliefs,
for their views.
Yeah. Good Lord.
Look, if you don't like Donald Trump, you're allowed to not like Donald Trump.
No.
It doesn't bother me. But you have to respect that people voted. And it's so funny that
they showed their vote.
Shows like The View came out the next day, and I said this is probably going to be the best ratings they've had ever.
It wasn't.
With people watching their show.
I wasn't as angry as I thought it was going to be. They were very calm about it, pissed off, but calm.
It's okay. Well, see, so Callie Surfer Girl's chiming in about Wayne Gretzky. I'm talking about his skills as a hockey player. My fondest memories are watching Wayne play hockey. That's what I associate him with. I don't care about the stuff outside of hockey. I don't pay attention to that stuff. What we have to stop doing is damning people for just being around the people they want to be around, voting for who they want to vote with. Unless you're hanging around at a Diddy party, like, you don't deserve to be mistreated. Somebody in the chat said earlier they've been disowned for liking Trump. How do we get ahead as a country when that's the case?
How do we stop separating? Like, stop with the separatism?
We grow up.
Yeah, but when does that actually happen?
I don't know.
There's a small group of us unacceptable fringe people that will actually think about these things, but then there's 68% that just want to separate because you don't like somebody else's views.
Well, the same thing happened during the coup.
Oh, 100%.
There were people who said, don't come around me, don't talk to me, I'm not
But
gonna...
I didn't realize how dumb people could be when that happened. Like, if you're not going to like me because of one thing, like, really, good on you. It shows your character, not mine.
It's... You look at people, and I see people mentioning Don Cherry in the chat. I mean, Grapes getting canceled for defending his country.
Yeah.
For sticking up for Canada. You know, Wayne Gretzky getting labeled for going to Mar-a-Lago. I'm sorry. Why? You know, everybody's trembling now that Donald Trump's going to be president, saying it's going to hurt Canada because of the tariffs. I'll tell you right now, tariffs aren't a bad thing, so long as you have somebody at the table who can negotiate. The problem is...
Right now, we don't.
We have a sissy boy who wants to negotiate tampon prices instead of real tariffs.
Yeah.
You need a guy like Pierre in there who actually knows how to negotiate, who knows finances, who's not going to screw over the country in the process, but who also isn't going to give the country away.
And all these people who are going to move to Canada because Trump got in office, we don't want you. Stay home.
Well, and that's the thing. So many celebrities. I'm moving to Canada.
Somewhere else. We don't.
I'm moving
want
to
you.
Canada. We're all going to Canada. No, please don't. I don't want you
We're
here.
good. We're full.
There was rumor going around Tom Hanks has already left America.
Oh God.
And it's not because of Trump. It's because he's on a list. We all know he's on a list. He knows he's on a list.
When that list comes out.
And that list is coming out. Trump said he's bringing that list out full bore. And there was somebody on Twitter calling me out this week saying, "Oh, I suppose you're prepared for it to say that him and Donald Trump were best friends." They traveled in the same circles. They did know each other.
That information has already come out that he is on the flight logs.
The Dems leaked the flight logs that already showed Donald Trump on there. But here's the surprise, folks. Those flight logs, I went through them. Donald Trump is on them. None of them were going to the island when Donald Trump was on that plane. So say whatever you like. I don't see the president of the United States releasing lists that would incriminate him if he was actually doing something on those planes he wasn't supposed to be doing, unlike, Bill Clinton or anybody else. I think it's great that Donald's going to expose that. I think Hollywood was worried. They're all going to be exposed now. It's over for those guys. The party's over. It's all done. You see faceless idiots like Mark Ruffalo downtown chanting, about Trump with Michael Moore on election night. Like,
I think celebrities need to stay out of politics, honestly.
So many celebrities have ruined my love for movies and my love for entertainment.
Give us an opinion.
Because of their opinions, because of the way they behave.
Give us an opinion.
Well, they're nobody. They're elites. They think that they
That's just it, though.
They think they resonate with the common person, and they don't. They've never had to struggle to pay a bill. They've never had to worry about affording anything.
Holly weirdos. Yes.
Yes, Holly weird. You've got all these people panicking, like Eminem. I used to like Eminem back in the day, like Slim Shady, like original, guys, I was in my 20s when Eminem first came out. I thought he was great. And now he starts talking about white dudes for Harris, and it's like, I can't listen to you anymore. And again, I'm not trying to be like one of those people where it's like, I'm going to judge you because of your political opinions, like I just said. But the problem is that.
But even Jack Black coming out about when he was assassinated the first time.
And that's the perfect point to bring up, because it's not about the fact that they want to vote for Harris. It's that they tell you you're a scumbag if you don't.
Yes.
They talk down to you. Look at Tenacious D getting canceled, like you said, because they were on stage saying, "Don't miss Trump next time." I mean, it's the bitterness, the childish-like behavior, similar to what we were talking about earlier with other influencers, that when they start behaving that way, it's like, I can't listen to you anymore. I don't want to participate in what you're selling.
To be anywhere, just grow up. Buy an island.
It was Kyle Gass, yes, but Jack Black was involved.
He was.
It was Kyle's birthday. Jack was out on the stage. Jack has since canceled everything. I count Jack Black as a part of Tenacious D, even though Kyle said it. I mean, Jack laughed at it when it was going on. Regardless, let's not argue semantics. The problem here is that we're going to face the same issues when we go to a federal election, whenever that's going to be, whether that's going to be before Christmas, whether that's going to be in the new year, or if by the 1,000,000-to-1 shot, it gets dragged out to October of next year. You're going to see the same reactions from those who have rainbow-colored hair, who have the nose piercings, who scream in the streets if you don't understand their pronouns. Things are going to get really scary in Canada.
I think I saw a meme with like 20 blue-haired women at the Canadian border coming in from the U.S.
We don't want them.
No.
We don't want it. What makes them think that we want them here? What are they going to claim amnesty?
We're full. We have enough of our own issues. We don't need theirs too.
I heard that Bill Clinton was so sad after the election that his whoa, hang on. His zipper wasn't half mast. There you go. Reg, thank you. Bad Anger Management, $6.99 super chat. Celebrities just sway the votes in the sheep and the ignorant.
68%
of the sheep and the ignorant. Yeah. 68% of the population are legally stupid. That's the way it is. It's Trudeau, as the title says, has had the worst week of his life.
Oh, he's
in
scared.
politics.
He's more scared than when the truckers came into Ottawa. I mean, Trump did not like him the first round.
But what
either.
you have to realize is it's not Donald Trump that has him scared.
No.
It's the fact that the writing is on the wall. As that TikTok said that I showed you guys, they lost the election in the United States because they're more worried about celebrity endorsements, twerking, than helping their people. They're putting up immigrants in hotels on the taxpayers' dime. They're doing everything.
Trudeau has proven that he does not care about the Canadians people at all.
Well, we've known that for 10 years, but it's...
But there are more Canadians now that are actually seeing that than there were before. He never would have gotten voted in again and again if that weren't the case.
Well, so when Trudeau got voted in for the second time, that was on fear. Again, I always say that if you look at George Bush,
yes,
after 9/11,
9/11, yes.
he got elected in on a fear campaign that if you don't elect me in again, you know,
this is going to happen again.
It's going to happen again.
Yeah.
We need to secure our borders. We need to go to war. We need to get those responsible. Americans were scared, and rightfully so. Justin Trudeau did the same thing during the last election. Now there's more to that election, like the lab leak. Again, Northern Perspective covered that. I'm going to get in.
Still looking into.
I'm going to get into that a little bit.
Yeah.
I watched that. I know I say I don't watch too many political channels.
Well, you know you do.
But I did watch this video put together by Northern Perspective on the lab leak because I've been following it very close. So yes, we will be discussing it soon in the future. But evidently that the majority of that campaign, despite being perfect timing to cover up the lab leak, was essentially done as a fear campaign.
Yeah.
You need to vote me in or you're all dead. You're all going to die because of the dirty, because of those who refuse to get on board and toe the line. Now we're going into an election where just as that, this is where I say American politics sways what happens in Canada. You've got all these people that are fed up. You've got all these people that haven't been looked after. People are dealing with tent cities. I was out with the kids the other day driving past our local grocery store, and there's a field next to a train station. The police are in there removing tent encampments. Like
I saw the most amazing one in Edmonton on the news the other day. They've got fridges and everything. They've built actual little houses out of just scrap wood.
Everybody who can vote in this country is fed up. And Trudeau knows after what happened in this election with this red wave that it doesn't matter how many by-elections are in Canada. It doesn't matter what happens, what he does, what cuts he makes, where he panders. He's not going to survive a couple of months, let alone the next election. He knows his time is up. Now, does that mean we're going to put out 10 videos saying it's over, it's coming? No. If there's news out there that something could be coming, yes, I have to cover it. We have to talk about it. But it could come at any time now, guys. Like, it literally is over. We're just waiting for them to make it official. Anybody who says it's not over at this point, well, I mean,
they really are pushing for
it. It really depends on what you define as over. I mean, I'm saying it's over for Trudeau in terms of he's never going to get another sit. He's never.
No, but I mean that is common sense at this point now. I mean, that's a given. I want that election to come through. I want a date specific. I want that vote.
We all want that, and what we need is an election. We don't want to see him step down. We don't want to see him leave.
No.
The Canadian people want to kick him out of office.
Yeah.
And we have every right to.
You're fired. That's what we want to do.
It's going to be insane. And what's more insane is that it's Donald Trump has already issued that he's going to sign a executive order the minute he gets into office, going after all of those who have censored the internet, whether it's the DOJ, whether it's Silicon Valley, all these platforms that have censored people's free speech. You know, Donald started Truth Social. He wants to get rid of, he wants to purge that. So big issues could be coming for Google and whatnot. We're going to have to see the same thing when Pierre gets in office. I think this is a blueprint for what Pierre needs to do in order to protect our free speech. Mr. Steele, your blocks, $2 super chat. We want him in jail. Absolutely, we do.
But it will never happen.
It's not going to happen. I'd love to see him in jail. I'd love nothing more than to watch him go into a cell and have the bars locked behind him.
Will never happen. He's
Never going to
got
happen.
Far too much people in his pocket, far too much money.
Did you see that Northern Perspective were on Jordan Peterson's wife's podcast? No, I didn't catch that. Like
we
I
have
said,
heard her speak, though. She is very amazing.
We've met her
a few
several times
yeah.
and talked with Jordan Peterson outside of
She is quite amazing.
outside of his shows. So no, I don't. I mean, I keep in touch with Dr. Peterson from time to time, but we don't. I like I said, I don't watch other political channels.
Miss Fringe needs a new chair.
It's
sorry.
Colin P chiming in. Trump ain't taking shit this time from the media or anywhere else this time. You have to push it down. Like, I really hope that when Pierre gets into office, it's the same pushback with the CBC, that he actually defunds them immediately, like he said he was going to do. Catherine Tate's head's going to explode. We need to see immediate change. I know that the mess that Pierre is going to clean up,
there's a lot of things
is going to take some time
immediately, but there are things
he could do right away.
Yeah.
There are things that could be done right away to instill Canadians' confidence. A video dropped earlier today talking about, are the Conservatives flipping over to Liberals? Again, I had to question what's going on with Raquel Doncho over Tenant Media. Now, again, I'm not weighing in on Tenant Media. I don't want to weigh in on Tenant Media. I don't have the complete story. It was the way they were falling for this Russia stuff that I'm questioning. It's the fact that Pierre has now brought in an MP to represent the House that was very strictly liberal based, pronouns in his bio, attacking Maxime Bernier. He's got a terrible track record. I'm surprised he's not a liberal MP. Why are we bringing them in? Those red flags are starting to scare me. Now, what's funny is, and it was a bit of an experiment to put out that video, is the amount of people in the comments that are showing me that this country is going to go right back to where it was before. And that's what I'm just trying to watch out for. I don't know if people know this, but sometimes there's a little method behind the madness when I put out some videos. And what I noticed in there were people saying, well, what do you expect? You got to give them some slack. You got to allow them to do their jobs. They're just doing what they have to.
Should have done that in Peter Griffin voice. You know that, right?
Really?
Just saying.
But there's the problem. We're already making excuses for them because we want them to win. What's going to happen when they're in office? If they give us buyer's remorse, where are we going to go from there? We have an opportunity right now as voters that we have to realize that we have all of the power going into the next election. It's like buying a car. You know, when you go to buy a car, if you go onto a lot with money, you've got power because the salesman just wants you to buy something, but they don't get what they want until you actually put your money down and sign the papers. So they'll kiss your butt. They'll tell you everything you want to hear. They'll be nice to you. They'll prop you up. They'll give you deals. They'll pretend they're your best friend, just like a politician. And then as soon as you pay for that car, as soon as you put your name on the line and you're responsible for that car, they don't care anything about you. They could care less. They got their commission. They're done. It's the same with politicians.
You're going to see red flags with every politician. It's a matter of finding the one that's right for you.
It's not just finding the one that's right for you, but you got to hold them to account.
Yeah.
And you got to be willing to put their feet to the fire and say they're not going to be perfect. They're going to screw up. They're not going to do everything I agree with. But while they're canvassing, while they're trying to vie for our votes in the next election, while they have this 20% gain on the Liberals, we have to start asking them, why are you talking to people like this? Why are you hiring in these MPs that have pronouns in their bios that are really just displaying that they're Liberals? Why are we doing these stupid things and running in the same circles as we have for the last 10 years? Is this what I'm to expect if I give you my vote? They need to realize before this election happens that if they want a majority, if they want a job, they have to earn it. They can't just tell us everything we want to hear and sugarcoat it, and then they get in and then they piss us all off and we sit for another 4 years, because we have an opportunity here, folks. We have an opportunity to get better representation, to demand better representation. But once we put our names on those ballots, once we sign the paperwork, it's done. Our power is gone for another 4 years. And if we don't hold these guys to account before they get in and let them know, you can't run around like this with us, we're not going to put up with it, we won't vote you in, they're going to have to change before they get in. And if we sit here and make excuses for them, we're no better than the Liberals that put Justin Trudeau in office.
Now you need the Canadian flag flying behind you with
For
some
crying out
music.
loud.
I'm just saying.
Cat in the Hat with a $50 super chat. Thank you so much. Love your channel, Derek. Keep up the great work. Cheers from Calgary. Nice win for Trump, and Pierre is next. Make North America great again. I agree.
Thank you so much.
I disagree with you. The main goal is to defeat Trudeau. So let me ask this question then. Let me ask this question. The main goal is to get rid of Trudeau. So if we put somebody in who's going to tax us into oblivion, who's not going to handle
The next
inflation,
Trudeau.
who's not going to fix the crime like they say they're going to, you're saying that that's okay as long as Trudeau's gone? Is that what I'm to believe from that comment? Like, I see these comments all the time. We want solutions to our problems. If the answers aren't going to come from another party that's already in the House of Commons, then we need to fight for another party to be available for us. We need to start looking outside the box. How do we fix our situation as voters, as Canadians? Because it's going to be an endless cycle. You're saying that's not what I'm saying? It is. I'm missing the argument here.
It's hard when the chat is amazing. We love this community. It's going so fast.
It's going so fast, it's hard to keep up with the conversation. What I am saying is that before we go to the polls, before we have an election,
everybody's situation is different. Yes.
He did
say that.
John Matrix saying, I hear you. We want Parliament solutions, transparency from the government and citizens, to its citizens, and accountability. That's it.
Well, the citizens need to be able to have a voice
and
too.
What I'm saying, what is this? I think you're turning people off of Pierre again, Allison. No, I'm telling. What I'm saying is that I've how do I put this? I've said it before on the show. Justin Trudeau has given the next government a roadmap by getting away with all of these scandals, by getting away with all this ridiculous spending. I don't know if you guys heard about this. Crystia Freeland just gave $5 billion more to the Ukraine for money laundering before Donald Trump cuts off that war.
The war.
To fund it. Major Leaf, $10 super chat. Whereas Pierre said he would increase taxes. What you're doing is encouraging to split the vote. What has happened? No, you're putting words in my mouth. I appreciate the $10 super chat. Let's backtrack. Let me put it a little more clear for everyone so you understand what I'm saying. I've never said that. I said what happens if we get somebody in, not Pierre, because the comment was we just want to get rid of Trudeau. So I've said what happens if we get someone in who doesn't want to reduce taxes, or who doesn't fix the crime, or who doesn't get rid of the carbon tax. What happens? Are we okay with it just because Trudeau is gone? My point being, we want a solution to our problems. Trudeau, as I was saying, has given a roadmap that you can get away with all of these scandals. That the next party who comes in, not saying Pierre, but any party that comes in the next decade, 2 decades, if nothing is done to prevent that in the future, and if new legislation doesn't come in, then we're going to be in the same spot we are right now because they're politicians. Again, not saying Pierre. I'm going to be very clear on that. What I am saying, and not encouraging a vote split, listen very carefully, is that when conservatives are coming to your doors to canvass, to say, we want your vote, anything they're doing that we are questioning, and we have to question them, if we give them a skate, they get to free roam.
Well, that's how we got here in the first place.
It is how, yes. So we have to question them and ask them, I didn't like these things you were doing. Why should I vote for you? If their people, if their optics, if their polls are telling them, hey, people are mad about these slip-ups we're making, if they want your vote, they're going to have to fix them, because that's what being held to account is. There's times people come to me and say, Derek, I didn't like how you covered this subject, or I didn't like your opinion on something else. Does it mean that I'm going to stop being on YouTube? No, but it tells me how I need to be better for this channel. This isn't about vote splitting. It's not about turning off of Pierre. It's about making sure that who you're voting for is actually going to follow through with what they're giving you, what they're dressing up. Kayla with $10 super chat. Saw your video on the tenant media in Russia. As a dual citizen, Russian and Canadian, what the hell's going on with the conservatives? They're pandering so hard to the Ukrainian diaspora. It's disappointing. Again, I don't want to weigh in too much on tenant until I have all the facts from the inquiry or the committee, until we know for sure what happened with money. It's reasonable assumption. Bad mouthing does nothing. Talk about what policies need to be changed. We already know the problem. Trudeau and his party needs to go enough to have no more power. I agree with that, but I'm not bad mouthing anybody. I think Pierre's trying to get people that will be accepted and elected. Halifax isn't Alberta. No, but again, there's a bad track record there. Mr. Steal Your Blocks, the $10 super chat. Thank you so much. You don't want to know the corruption I saw while in the Ukraine war. Just the top of my head, it was minimum 4 to 5 million in 6 months over there in one unit. Multiply that by how many? 100,000. I hear you. Thank you so much for the super chat. Maple Leaf, another $5 super chat. Are you not aware the conservatives are planning to put in huge penalties for corruption? Look up 405. Get your facts right. I appreciate the super chats, but that doesn't give people a right to say I'm not looking it up. Look, I can't cover every single thing that they're doing right, and I'm not saying that they're doing things wrong. I'm saying I don't approve of Dancho's comments. The way she came across was very liberal. We all know, and here's the example. When they started saying that Donald Trump was corrupted by Russia, that it was all Russian interference, we all know that it wasn't. When they said the Freedom Convoy was Russian interference, we all know that it's not. And then Raquel Dancho comes in to talk about Russian interference and how disappointing it is that this is happening in Canada. The problem is the use of the language she's doing. The same thing you're holding me to account right now. Her use of language is a red flag because it says she's buying into the idea of Russian interference in social media. She's buying into the fact that I could be possibly paid off by Russian interference, or people on Twitter could be paid off by Russian interference, instead of saying these people are just speaking their minds because they're fed up with their government.
They're just labeling us as something because that's how they become innocent, right?
If I was in Dancho's riding, if she was my MLA, my MP, MLA is provincial. If she was my MP, I would be asking her, what do you mean by this? Dancho's performance was like modern day McCarthyism. Exactly. The same thing Viva said. It's not about vote splitting. It's about saying, what are we getting here when we vote for you in the next election? What are we buying into? Are we going to be treated the same way as the Liberals have treated us? Are we going to be a small fringe minority? Keep in mind, every single MP in the House of Commons voted for the Emergency Act, including Pierre, including the Conservatives, including O'Toole, which is part of the reason he's been kicked out. I don't like talking about that. I even said it when I made the video today. I don't like reporting on those things. However,
It
I'm
makes you mad talking about it now.
I am a
You're
Canadian.
getting heated.
I'm a Canadian at heart. I care about Canada. I care about the policies that are going to benefit us, and I care about those that are representing us to put in the policies that make our lives better. If you look at the majority of policies that are going through in the House of Commons or that have gone through since the pandemic, it's all about control. Control over our food, control over our travel, control over our workplace, control over who we see, who we talk to, where we go, how far we can go, what times we can go out. When you look at 293, I mean, they want to control what we can eat.
The bugs.
Please restock the Pierre Poilievre's men's underarm deodorant in the merch store. We don't want another government that's going to screw over Canadian citizens and their freedoms. I'm all for axing the tax. I'm all for fixing the crime. I'm all for all the slogans. I don't want to hear them every 5 minutes, but I'm here for them. I've said it a million times and I'll say it again. Pierre is getting my vote. So anyone saying I'm vote splitting, he's getting my vote.
Mine too.
I just want accountability. I want clarity. The comment about bad-mouthing was directed at the audience, not you. Talking about solutions gets things done, not calling the other side's the bad guy. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Major Leaf, I have great news for you, Derek. If you look up the vote, the Conservatives and Bloc voted against the Emergencies Act. Did O'Toole? I was told differently. I hate how heated this has to get anytime we talk about Pierre. And this is, nobody cares about O'Toole. Okay, but we're talking about, they both voted against. Okay, well, that's not what I'm seeing all over social media, all over other videos that have covered it. Anytime I try to hold Pierre to account, people get mad because it's, shh, you're going to ruin it. You're going to.
We need to question all politicians, if we like them or not. We question Danielle too, and we love her.
I've spoken to Danielle outside of any video I've done, and I've talked to Danielle, and she's told me multiple times, I have no problem with you questioning what I'm doing. I think it's good discourse. I think it's good for our politics. That's why she comes on my show. I've talked to Pierre's people. I talk to Pierre's people frequently. You can vouch for that. They know what I say on this channel.
They watch you.
They watch this channel. And anytime I've called things out, there was a video where Pierre slipped up when he was standing with truckers and he said, we need to reduce the carbon tax, not axe the tax. And I put out a video saying, well, which one is it? Is this a slip or is this what we're getting as a reduction?
Yeah.
And immediately when I talked to his people, they weren't mad that I put out the video. They clarified and they said, thanks for bringing that to our attention.
Because if you're questioning it, so are other people.
That's the point.
The difference is you have a reach on your voice and other people don't.
They watch this channel. They're watching us. They watch everybody. They watch
your phone is watching you.
Did you guys not see Pierre running into the pleb saying, keep up the good work? I mean, they watch a lot of our channels. They know what's going on. They invited me to the House of Commons in 2022. Mostly it was the books, but yeah, they watch YouTube. They knew who I was. They still know who I am. How do you think I get them on the show? It's we are in a preceded state where we've elected an absolute imbecile to run our country for the last decade and pummel it into the ground.
Well, we're all coming out of a bad toxic relationship. We need to question this shit.
And that's literally what I was just about to say is that if you're abused in a relationship, when you get into another relationship, you don't put your guard down. You don't say, "Oh, I'm going to just trust you fully and completely." Your guard's up. You want to make sure that the next person you're with isn't going to abuse you like the last person. I'm not saying don't vote for Pierre. I'm not saying split the vote. I'm not saying do terrible things. I'm saying while we have power, before we put those people in their jobs, while they're coming to us saying, please give us our jobs, please give us our seats, please give us our mandate, we have to use that power to say, what are you going to do for me? How do I know you're going to keep your word? You want to make sure there's no buyer's remorse, no matter who you're voting for. If you're throwing away your votes and giving it to the NDP or the Liberals, best, I don't know why you're in this stream, but if you're giving it to the Conservatives, just make sure you're satisfied.
Every vote you should be informed.
With what you're seeing, with the policies, with what's coming down the line for you. Sometimes have a little faith. After the last 10 years,
it's really hard.
It's hard. I don't trust the government. I don't care what party they are. I don't trust the government. Sorry, not sorry. That's what started this. People are saying no sound. Is there really no sound? I highly doubt that. The problem, see, people are bringing up the PPC. The problem with the PPC, and I've said it before too, Max can't even get his seat. You can't take them serious. Once they have seats, once they get somebody, they need to replace Max. He's too busy working on his tan in Florida. They need to get somebody in there that knows what they're doing. That's actually ready to run the party properly. The problem, Dave's saying, I'm so sick of what's going on in the House of Commons. I just want to end the BS and call it an election. We all do. We all do. We all want to see change. We all want to see Justin get destroyed. I like Pierre. I have no problem with Pierre.
Colin says it's happy time, so it needs to be happy time. Happy, joy.
Pierre loves Canada. That's why he's working like crazy, especially being in the House, standing up to Canada and Canadians.
He is a true Canadian. He is a true Albertan.
I like what Pierre's bringing to the table, and again, that's why I'm voting for him. The thing is that when you vote for Pierre, unless you live in his riding, you're not voting for him. You're voting for your MP. Stephanie Kusi is our MP. Now, I may have questions for Stephanie when it comes time for her to come knocking on my door saying, why should I give you my vote and not somebody else? Why should you not be replaced in the Conservatives for somebody else to take your seat? Not that I want to vote split, not that I want to give it to somebody else, but why should I give you a mandate? It can't just be for Pierre. She's my representative. Reasonable assumption, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Link showing that the Blocs and Conservatives voted completely against the act.
In the side chat.
In the side chat for your information.
Okay. Did that register for you?
I was told, so I didn't see the vote. People are always yelling online, they all voted for the Emergencies Act. That's
it's hot down here.
So if I've been misinformed, then I apologize. Stinger saying something I agree with. We need term limits, ability to remove an errant leader, midterm elections, or an elected Senate.
Yes.
we tried recall legislation in Alberta, and it's totally pinned against anybody because you need so many votes in order to do it. It's impossible. You would need a complete revolt. Like if we had the same legislation in the federal government that we had, if we had the same legislation for the federal government that we have in this province, even with the amount of distaste there is for Trudeau, we still wouldn't get enough signatures to get Trudeau removed under the same legislation. Ange coming in, Ronald Reagan famously said, the scariest words you'll ever hear is, I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Yeah. And keep in mind, again, the reason I'm saying I want to make sure we're getting what we're getting is because if you have a majority government, you can pass whatever you want. Now, I think Pierre has the best intentions. But again, I've always said no government should have a majority. It's too much power. They need to work together. That's not going to happen in today's political landscape.
There were pictures of Pierre at the convoy?
Yeah, he was at the convoy. Well, so there were videos. I'll get into that in one
Okay,
second. Let me
sorry.
get to these super chats that are pouring in. Mr. Steal Your Blocks, $10 super chat. A good friend of mine has a son with CP wheelchair bound for life, and Pierre was the nicest guy to him when they met. He treated him like a person. That's why I'm voting Pierre. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. Pierre's great. Gwen with a $5 super chat. Pierre upset me by being overexcited when he met the devil, Bill Gates. That's news to me. I didn't know he met with Bill Gates. Pierre, during the convoy, I mean, we saw videos of him on the overpasses doing his promo videos saying these are truckers, they're coming for their freedoms. Trudeau's taking their freedoms away. I've seen videos of Pierre and his wife giving coffee and donuts to truck drivers. And I infamously quote him on the steps of Parliament when he was going inside the one day and they said, how do you feel about the protest going on in Ottawa? And he said, you know, I support people's rights to protest so long as they're doing it legally.
And they were.
And they were. But where were the Conservatives coming outside to talk with everybody during the Freedom Convoy protests?
No,
I know a few of them did. I know Candace Bergen did.
Mm-hmm.
I know a few others came out and spoke with the truckers during the Freedom Convoy. But the biggest problem when it comes to their needs when they were on the ground was that they wanted to just have an ear of the government and nobody would give it to them. Nobody substantially would give it to them. Aaron O'Toole didn't go and talk with them. As far as I know, I'll throw that in so nobody comes for my head if he did. Harper was in PM and Pierre had to go, I am sure. Don't take my word to ask him. I'm missing half of a conversation there. Did Michelle Rempel talk to the convoy? Nope. Again, as far as I know, she didn't. O'Toole is weak. Yes, Allison, I do agree with that. But he was also the leader of the Conservatives. Now, Pierre was already vying for the leadership role when he was out doing those videos and those clips. We all knew that. I just wish I'm not saying they didn't do anything. I just feel like they didn't do enough during that time. I feel like they could have been a little more vocal. Again, Candace stood up in the House of Commons several times and said, go out there and talk to them. She was very vocal. I just wish more Conservatives would have been vocal because as people across the country, keep in mind, a vast majority of the country disagreed with the Freedom Convoy and their protests. And as soon as the optics showed them that a very large portion of Canadians didn't support them, as soon as the word Emergencies Act came in, a lot of people that were once voicing support for the convoy backed off. I just wish there was more teeth in it, is all, because there was nothing illegal about that protest. Aside from, blocking a bridge, but that wasn't connected to the Freedom Convoy. That was just another convoy. Chris saying nobody talked to them. That's the biggest problem. They drove all that way, hoping that somebody would talk to them. Now, again, a few MPs came out. Yeah, somebody said Max did. Yeah, Max did. But again, Max can't get a seat. That's the problem. And for anybody who's missed it in other streams, I like Max. I met up with Max at the airport in Winnipeg. We had a beer. I like him. Nice guy. He's just not the leader of the PPC. They need somebody better. I'm sorry to say that for anybody who likes Max. Pierre talked to the truckers. Well, he did and he didn't. It was very brief. I wanted a little bit more. Like, it's not about the truckers. It's about the statement that you're there to back Canadians' rights to protest, to show that you stand with those who are fed up with the current government. I'm not saying they didn't do anything. I'm just saying I wish they did more. That's all. Stephen Vacation with a 279 super chat. No message, but thank you so much. Throw a message in there next time. Weigh in. There's so many things I wish the Conservatives did that they didn't, with the whole China situation, but I believe Trump will slap the crap out of whoever they choose to be leaders. Pierre is okay. I think Pierre can run with Trump. I think that's one of the things I'm looking forward to with Pierre. Dancho spoke with the truckers during the convoy, and she waved back and forth at her hotel every day to prove how safe it was. Or walked back and forth. Sorry, not waved. I apologize.
You're getting tired. You can't read
a little. It's been a long day. Yeah, and that's great. And yes, there were some, but what I'm saying is that, you know, a few little statements here, or for a few little gestures. I wanted more vocalization in the House, I guess. I wanted a little more people telling Trudeau, go outside and just listen to them, just talk to them, not one or two Conservatives standing up and saying it. I saw it. They're all scared for losing their jobs. Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that's where you see the true colors. It's Joe, how did you get such a beautiful wife? Chloroform. And
it's true.
A lot of drugs. Les saying, Derek, you need to understand that China is behind everything. I've done my research. Well, that's fine.
Yes, they are.
Pierre actually has a male voice, adult male. It says Colin P. There you go. I'm assuming we're arguing amongst ourselves. We don't want to argue. I don't want to make anybody argue. Look, let's get off the whole subject. I think we've rubbed people the wrong way tonight.
We need a lighter note. Let's end this on a joyous.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, if you guys want me to just shut up and not talk about keeping people's feet to the flames, I'll stop. And then if something happens down the road, you know, I'll just give I told you so. But if it angers you guys for me to want fair accountability from our government, no matter who's in charge, even if I like them, I won't bring it up again.
No, we need to give out the news, right and wrong on both sides. That's what you're doing, is you're sharing the truth.
Let's wrap up the stream with some Q&A. Throw your Q&As into the chat, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be looking for question marks on the little blocks here as the my wife looks at me like I'm crazy.
Sometimes.
Is that what you do?
Sometimes.
Let's throw your questions in for Q&A, guys. We'll wrap up on a fun note. And we won't talk about Pierre anymore. Let's see. I'll be looking for question marks.
Favorite ice cream?
Well, I'm lactose, so I don't really do ice cream very often, but
That's a lie.
Ben and Jerry's Eclair affair.
That's right.
If I got to go for anything.
I like strawberry or vanilla.
There you go. Mystical, would you get a pet platypus? Or would you pet a platypus? Holy tongue twister. Would you pet a platypus?
Yes.
I don't know, maybe. I guess. What shirt are you wearing?
You might need to show it off.
This is it's a Decepticons hockey jersey with Devastator on the back of it, like the Devastator name, as well as 84 for the year the Transformers were made. The wife got it for me for Christmas last year. I love it. Are you at all interested in cars and trucks? I mean, a little.
If it's a Camaro.
If it's a Camaro. I'm in. Nope, no luck yet. I don't want to get back into that. We'll let you know when something happens, but so far, no. Do you think Trudeau will cheat in the next election? I think so, but like I think we kind of saw with the American election, people were saying too big to rig. I think it's the same thing that's going to happen in Canada. I think that, you know,
I mean, they're going to try.
they'll try, but I don't think it's going to go that way. I think it's too big to rig here too.
They were, I mean, the U.S. election, they were watched like hawks when they were counting and everything.
How
like
much you
was...
bench? Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It came up on the screen. Go ahead.
Do it a lot. It's
go
fine.
ahead.
We're
No,
good.
go ahead.
We're good. How much do you bench?
I mean, I haven't done bench press in a long time because of
children
and children and everything. The last time I benched, I think it was about 425, 375, somewhere around
less
there.
Than that now.
It'd be less than that now because I haven't done it in a long time. Do you believe there will be an election by Christmas?
That's a tough one. I really don't. We're coming up in the middle of December or November here. What day is it? I don't
think so at this point. I think
they're going to try, but I don't think it's going to go that way.
We either got to get one in the next week or it's not going to happen. Like it's got to be called. Will Trudeau open the border for American deported illegals? Yes. You think so?
It makes him look good.
Who's moving those arcade machines? Yours truly. They're not that heavy. They're not that heavy. The only one that's heavy is the Donkey Kong Jr. because it's a legit arcade. The other ones are what are called 3/4 scale. So they weigh about 60 pounds each. They're not that bad.
No.
Here we go. Where's
Decepticons? Pew pew pew.
Where's everybody asking if we sold the house yet? No, we haven't sold the house yet. No. Are you still running for mayor, Derek? No, Betty, there's a video way back. I had to drop out. We didn't want to vote split. I know a lot of people say that I do that, but I don't, and I didn't want to. There was issues with volunteers and a bunch of other things. Go check out that video. You'll find it way back, but I've explained it too many times. Reg says,
meal?
what's your favorite meal?
Steak and potatoes.
Yeah, probably. I'd probably go with the same. Where did you go on your favorite date? Both of you.
First date when you made me run for a bus. Jump over a fence in a dress.
Yeah, so we were teenagers when we met, and I didn't have a license or a car. And yeah, we jumped the fence trying to get a bus. My favorite date was that wasn't our first date. When we first started dating, we went out in my friend's car. We used to go joyriding around just finding stupid things to do. And my friend drove this really crappy Ford Tempo. And
it was a good car for being in high school.
Kind of really close to where we live right now. They were building a brand new neighborhood and we got stuck in the mud.
That was when we first started dating.
That was when we first started dating.
That was when I said yes.
And that was the same spot I went back to when I proposed to Tiffany when we got married, actually.
My mom still doesn't believe we got stuck in the mud.
When we got engaged, yeah. Tiffany's mom, we were stuck in the mud waiting for help, and Tiffany's mom thought that I was keeping her out late, that I was lying where we were, but we were actually stuck in the mud.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Average cost of rent in Alberta in case I need to flee. Depends where in Alberta. If you're talking a major city, I know Calgary is the average is what, with 3,000 for a house. I think an apartment somewhere around
1,500 one bedroom.
1,500 for a one bedroom to 2,000 depending on where you're living. You think Jordan Peterson will be offered a position in the U.S. administration?
That would be amazing.
I'd sure love for that to happen. I love your room. I like it too. Some people don't. Some people have been very vocal that they don't like it.
It's overwhelming.
Sean with the $5 super chat. Hey, Derek, do you think the leader of the PPC needs Pierre's due diligence? I think what the leader of the PPC needs is somebody other again than Max, somebody who shares more similar values to Max that's willing to, I guess, put in a little harder work. I've got no problem with the PPC's mission statement. It's just that they don't have the right leader. Reasonable assumption, $20 super chat. Thank you so much. The reason why it rubs the wrong way is because it's too early for it. The population needs more hope first before the all-important fine print is read. I mean, I agree, but I think we still have to be vigilant.
You are going too fast.
I'm looking for question marks.
You passed when?
When is your meet and greet? We had it last weekend in Calgary. The one in Edmonton/Spruce Grove. Whenever we move, we'll keep people
Haven't
posted on
decided
that
that yet.
one.
Most likely in the new year.
Ange, did you get your new arcade machine? Did Mrs. Fringe get her new shopping spree? She told me to go and buy the pinball machine this week, and I just didn't. I didn't have it in me. I said nope.
It doesn't mean you're not going to.
It doesn't mean I'm not going to. It's just not right now.
Yet.
I want to wait until we sell the house. That's 15 million votes missing in the U.S. election, and you don't think it was previously rigged? Possibly.
And no, I didn't.
There goes my phone. Who's phoning us? I have to check in case it's the realtor.
It's your Jesse.
It's my other realtor, and I have to cut off my ringtone so that I don't get a copyright strike. Let me see. Wasn't there a plan to move the election sooner than October 2025? I don't know. The only place I saw that was Jasper Sunshine, and I don't click on his videos because he never discusses what's in the title. So I didn't look into it. I will check into it though. Where are you guys moving to? We're moving to Spruce Grove, Alberta, as soon as we ever sell our house that we're cursed with. Denny saying, when do you think the next election will take place?
Definitely next year.
If I was a betting man, I'd say that. See, my presumption was that Trudeau was going to prorogue Parliament, that they'd come back in the new year. He still may prorogue Parliament. And then when they come back in the new year, everybody will be so fed up that they'll move for an election. I don't think that he's going to make it to October. I don't think it's going to happen.
Jeff drives.
A 50-year anniversary edition Camaro.
You wanna sell it?
If you want to give me your address and leave the keys outside, I will be there to get it.
Where's Operation
Wolf? I do actually have that on one of my multicades with the guns. I quite enjoy Operation Wolf. What do you think about how it happened in Amsterdam? I think it's a travesty, and I think it could happen in Canada if we're not careful. I'm going to be talking about that eventually, so I don't want to talk too much on here because then nobody comes and watches the video.
Watch the videos.
So, but thank you for the question. Did you see that Massachusetts and California will not support Trump's deportation of illegals? I mean, that's nice, but those states, the states aren't going to be happy that they're keeping all of them there. The people there are going to get frustrated. Again, much like the things we talk about, their ideas sound good to them on paper, but once everybody kicks up dirt, they sometimes backpedal. So, what are your thoughts on Randy Hillier's new YouTube channel? I didn't know Randy Hillier had a new YouTube channel. I'll have to check it out and then tell you. I can barely see the top of Dragon's Lair tonight. LOL. How did you do that on purpose? Yes, Arthur. I knew you were going to be here.
You did promise you were going to bring it on as a special guest.
Jeffrey says, would you sell me the DK Junior cabinet? Jeffrey, if you're in Calgary, I actually have it up for sale right now because I didn't want to move it with me. I've got it firmly listed at $2,800. So if you want to buy it off me, it is fully restored to factory day one condition.
A shopping spree and you get a pinball machine.
You can email me at unacceptablefringeyt@gmail.com if you want it, and I'll arrange for a time for you to come and get
vacation?
it. Bucket list vacation? I don't know, because I've kind of gone to a lot of places I wanted
Scotland.
to. Yeah, I'd probably go to Scotland to see a little bit of my dad's heritage. I haven't been back to Scotland in ages.
I've never been.
Did Mrs. Fringe lock down a job when you move? Well, there's a lot of jobs available. It's just she can't really apply for them until she has an address. So until we know for sure which house we're moving into, she's not looking. It's
I am and am not.
Are those the only arcade machines you have?
No.
No, they're not. I've got
How
about
many do you have? Yeah,
13.
Lucky 13.
What else do we have here? Gonzi Bonzi with a $20 super sticker. Thank you so much. My goodness, you guys are being so generous tonight. I really appreciate that. What's your favorite arcade game?
Oh.
Holy crap. That's like asking me which one of my kids is my favorite. I'd have to say the original Donkey Kong. I mean, it's the first game I ever played. It holds the most nostalgia for me. It's either that or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's one of the two.
Norman Lynching keeps sending question mark, question mark, question mark. But I don't know what he's...
I don't know what the question marks are for. I apologize. The chat moves so quickly sometimes. Let's see. Can I find another question
Wait, there was
mark?
one. Whoop.
What song's on your ringtone? Raffi singing Banana Phone. Did you say to go up?
Yeah. Do you have
kids? We have 3.
too many?
We have 3. It's
Might have a couple of those for sale too.
Yep. Who knows? Tobias saying it was great meeting both of you last Sunday. That was Saturday. If you were there, Tobias, yeah, it was great meeting everybody.
It was.
Again, I apologize. So many people I met. I might be forgetting names, so please don't think I didn't notice if you were there. There were a lot of people to talk with that night. Would you be worried about 15-minute cities moving to Spruce Grove?
Spruce
No.
Grove is so small. It's not really a place for it.
I don't think Spruce Grove would accommodate 15-minute cities, let alone the fact that it's a very, very conservative town. I don't think they're going to have those issues there. Thoughts on Trump coming to visit Trudeau in Canada? Think it'll be a good meeting. It'll be good for Donald.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be good for us. I see a question mark about Amsterdam. We already talked about that. What's your favorite board game?
Oh, Monopoly.
No.
What is it?
Clue.
Oh, right. Who killed the guy?
What about you?
I like that that haunted one we do with the video.
Oh, Nightmare.
Yeah.
Nightmare was a really cool board game in the 90s that came out. It was a VHS board game. We have it. I've got like a lot of older board games. We play that one with the kids every Halloween. It's a lot of fun. We didn't this year though. Again, everything's packed up.
Yes.
Carson Sexsmith's gifting 10 unacceptable Fringe
Thank you.
Patriots Club memberships. Welcome to all new Patriots in the Patriots Club. Let me get caught up, see if there's any more questions in here. Do you have toques in your merch store? No, but I could put some in there if you'd like them. Keep your eyes open.
It's a very Canadian thing. I think you need them.
I'll post it in there. Derek in a kilt. Listen, I don't want to give you that much satisfaction picturing that, so no.
Might be a just for me thing.
Let me see here.
Have you had any interactions
with Andrew Lawton? I talk to Andrew quite a bit.
Yeah.
I stay in touch with him. We've talked back and forth. We had this gag going on when How the Prime Minister Stole Freedom came out and it was doing so well. Andrew Lawton was fighting for the #1 spot on Amazon against my book with his Freedom Convoy book. And I used to go into his interviews and troll him in the chat and vice versa. We had this fake rivalry, kind of like Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
It was prearranged. It was all in good fun. We were just having fun with it. I talked to Andrew quite a bit. He's a good guy. I quite like him.
What do you do? What are we doing for Christmas?
What are you and Tiffany?
It depends where we are.
It depends where we are. We usually just stick around home and go sledding with the kids and have fun.
Has anyone read Andrew Lawton's new book to Pierre?
About Pierre? No, I haven't. Who's the best chef between you two?
You are on the barbecue and I am on the inside.
Yeah, it depends on what we're making, but yeah, for that pretty much boils it down. If it's barbecue, it's me.
Yeah.
Does Spruce Grove count as part of Edmonton? No. It's a good 20-minute drive outside of Edmonton from the Anthony Henday. Part of the reason, again, I wanted to go there than anything, that if we ever need the city, it's right there, but if not, it's on its own. Reasonable assumption, $20 super chat. Thanks so much. Told Jasper that as soon as 3 videos came that had no garbage, I would resub. This past 3 video titles were about the content. He gets my subscription back. I'm glad to hear that.
That's awesome.
That's good. I only have so many minutes in a day. I just choose not to waste it because anytime I've gone, oh, what is that? I found that it's not even discussed. So I stopped watching.
Board games need to make a comeback. I
totally agree. Board games do need to make a comeback. Where would your favorite place to go in Canada be for a vacation?
In Canada? I would love to do that train ride through Canada.
So does that count as a vacation if you're moving through Canada?
Oh, you get to see all of the beautiful landscape that Canada has through all of the provinces. It's kind of an amazing trip.
Anytime I'm asked where I want to go in Canada, hands down, every time it's Winnipeg because I want to go visit with my friends. I know Winnipeg isn't up on everybody's list, but
Not
that's it
mine.
for me. Edmonton approved 15-minute cities. Oh, yeah, but that's
Yep.
Edmonton. Sucks for them. From one side of the city to Spruce Grove, the other is only 15 minutes, so we like it,
I
says
love it.
Reg. Yep, and Reg is there. It's Spruce Grove isn't a 15-minute city, though, because it's a town. It's a town. It's not a city. What's your honest opinion of Danielle Smith? Why don't you answer?
Oh, I like her.
You like her?
Oh, yeah. She's got bigger balls than anybody I know. I like her.
So I've said this before, and it's very important that we say this with every politician. Are they going to do everything that we agree with all the time?
No.
No. I like Danielle. I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. I think she's smart. I think she's witty. I think she has Albertans' best interests at heart. I think that even though she's a politician, if you get her in a room and ever get the chance to talk to her, you'd see that despite people's common opinions and stereotypes when it comes to politicians, you'd find that Danielle is a little bit different. She's a different cut of cloth from the rest of them, and I'm happy to have her as my premier. I think
I didn't see Daphne in here tonight.
I think she's great. No, I didn't either.
Did you ever ask for the Red Ryder BB gun for Christmas? No, but we make sure we watch it every year.
We watch that movie every year, though. And there you go. Are you guys moving to Grand Prairie? No. Spruce Grove. Any advice on competition barbecue ribs? Boil them in Coca-Cola for an hour. Soften them up.
They fall off
the bone. I thought it was the weirdest thing, and then my brother-in-law showed me
open all the windows.
It stinks.
It stinks.
Do it on an outside barbecue if you're boiling it, if you got a burner on your barbecue. But yeah, boiling it in Coke.
Amazing.
Absolutely amazing. What hockey team do you cheer for, Tiff?
Jets?
The Jets. We cheer for the Jets. I was just making sure. It's got to be the Jets. My colors don't run. When is your family moving? I'd go tomorrow if I could.
Yeah.
It's we're waiting. We're listed below value. We're actually,
if you want a really cheap house,
we're actually losing money at this point just to get offers. Yeah. So I don't know what's going on. My realtor doesn't know what's going on. None of us know what's going on. We're all baffled. How big is Spruce Grove?
30,000
as Reg said, you can get from one end to the next in about 15 minutes. I believe it's about 40,000 people in terms of population. Not a very large city. Town. Not a very large town. I just said that it's not a city, it's a town.
Somebody loves you. They just shared their love for you.
Somebody just shared their love for me? Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I'm taken. Too bad. Do you watch Trains, Planes, and Automobiles around Christmas time? No. I haven't watched that movie for a long time, although the quote, "I like me," is one of my favorites. John Candy is a legend. For us, every year in this house, Christmas season starts when Hans Gruber falls off the tower. And then National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation usually rotates about 3 or 4 times and then finishes on its last showing Christmas night, Christmas Eve in this house. You ever do anything on climate change? No, because it's a myth. Would Tiffany ever get a YouTube channel, and what content would you do?
I have no idea because I'm not really good at the whole speaking thing. So,
but we're talking about getting you your own videos on this channel.
Possibly. I kind of like the idea of going around and talking about the young companies and stuff like that. Like when we were at the Stampede and saw those really cool companies, like the bee one and the puzzle one, and those kind of things.
Absolutely.
Mom and pop shops.
Okay, I think we got all the questions. I think we got all the Q&A. That said, ladies and gentlemen, we're wrapping up in about 2 hours. I want to thank everybody who super chatted, gave memberships, who became members tonight in the chat. Thank you to Carol Munger, Warwick 31, Jim Brown, Animal Kingdom Channel, Trudeau's a Commie, Colin P, Reasonable Assumption, Mr. Steal Your Blocks, Bad Anger Management, Major Leaf, Cat in the Hat, Kayla F, Cat Underwood. Who else? There's so many that redid. Gwen, Stephen Vacation, Sean Gow, Gonzi Bonzi, Carson Sexsmith. All of you guys.
Sean Gow, yeah.
I mentioned Sean Gow. Everybody who super chatted in the channel tonight. Keep your eyes peeled for new content dropping this weekend, folks, as well as during the week. Again, I hope you guys have a great weekend. I hope you stay safe, stay warm if you're anywhere where it's cold. Look after each other and have yourselves a great weekend, everybody. With that being said, from me and Mrs. Fringe, we'll catch you on the next one. Take